welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and today is kind of a different video. I would say this is kind of seeing things differently, non-travel edition slash your girl did a triathlon and finished it, and was pleasantly surprised by the results, because as we have a conversation about I did a triathlon this weekend, and that's the reason why also I didn't have my hair done, for obvious reasons, because I'm just like, okay, swimming's involved in a triathlon. And for those who aren't as familiar with triathlons, there are different distances in triathlons you can do. I did a sprint triathlon. I actually found out at this triathlon that there is a super sprint triathlon that I could be doing at the Chicago triathlon that they have. It's kind of a major one that they have in the city here in the fall, and which would be perfect for me because I am terrified of doing open water swimming. And the one that I was planning on doing this year that has open water swimming that's a little bit easier to do has been canceled. So I didn't really have a plan B. But I'm not gonna do it this year though, just because I'm gonna stick with the mantra of what I said in the previous video about how I'm just gonna take it easy as far as like doing like running events and doing long distance. I really wanna just enjoy running, enjoy physical activity again. Because lately, full transparency, I've been doing it, but I haven't really been enjoying it. So, which is bad for me, because I am someone who, that's kind of my thing. Those who have known me for the past 10, 15 years know I'm known as being the person who's like the physically fit girl, the girl who does marathons, the girl who does ultras, like a runner. Like I'm a distance runner. That's kind of a huge part of my identity in a way. So we're gonna get our mind right, and I'll be honest, the reason why I wanted to do this video about the triathlon, because it helped. It really helped. It helped. It's like I felt reminiscences of my old competitive self with this triathlon, and I haven't felt that way honestly in years. I didn't like all the running, just straight up running events I've been doing, like races. The Soldierfield 10 miler, I feel it a little bit because I just enjoy that race so much. It just makes me happy to live in Chicago whenever I do that race. But outside of that one, most of the races I do, even the Vegas race, I kind of just was, I was enjoying it, having a good time, but I didn't have that I didn't feel competitive. I didn't feel like, oh, I have something I can improve upon. Soldierfield, for whatever reason, that race, that does come out of me, because I have been improving my times with that race. Every year I do it, which is really odd. I don't know what it is about that. I don't know. For those who run, put in the comments below if you're someone who's a seasonal runner where like you peak like around May. Because I think that's what it is because that race is around May. It's like, I'm like ready to execute there. And then I get it again usually in October. Because that's usually when I do like a fall marathon race or something like that I'm training up for. But this year I'm just not gonna be doing that. And yeah, Zero is making an appearance today. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm gonna rest here. Yeah, I'm gonna make this video extra cute. Thank you, Zero. He's so cute. Anyway, so about the triathlon. So, and I think oh man, I'm a tangent person. Let me focus, girl. Stay focused, stay focused, stay focused. So, for those who are not familiar, a triathlon is you swim, and then you bike, and then you run. And there are different distances. I think I did just mention that, but I just went off on the whole entire tangent after that. There's a super sprint, which isn't as common. Wish they were more common because they're perfect for beginner triathletes. There's sprint, also great for beginner triathletes. And then there's the Olympic distance, which I haven't done yet. I want to do that at some point. And then there's a half Ironman, again, something I want to do at some point. And then there's a full Ironman. I don't know about that. And side note, the only reason why I don't know about a full Ironman is the bike part. I don't want to be on a bike for that long and then still have to run a marathon. No, thank you. Which that's telling, because most things that are distances are running related. Because, you know, I mentioned I am an ultra runner, like I do ultras. I've never had that where I'm just like, no thanks. Usually everything else I'm like, maybe. Or I just say never type thing. That's one of those few things I keep thinking about it over and over again. And I'm still just like, that bike part, I don't want to be on bike that long. That is a long time to be on a bike. And it's a long event. That event is a beginning of the day, like you don't have a day, your day's over with. But that's similar to like any type of like a 50 miler and beyond. That's kind of a similar thing where that's your whole day. But still, I just don't really, I've never really had an interest in the full Ironman once I really knew what entailed in the full Ironman. I think at the very beginning when I really got into health and wellness, I was into the idea, but I didn't know what the distances were to say that I was really into it. And then when I really realized what the distances were, I'm like, you know what? That's okay. That's quite all right. We don't need to do all that. So anyway, but that's a little bit about the triathlon. The triathlon that I did though, and one of the things I've been able to do for the past, I would say, I started doing triathlons in 2014, I want to say. Yeah, 2014 is what I want to say. No, 2015. 2015 is when I started doing triathlons. I tried to do one in 2014 and it did not pan out well. Because I tried to do open water swim, not knowing how hard open water swims are. And I completely panicked and I did not finish the race. So since then, I've been doing triathlons where they are either in a pool or a quarry or some type of man-made controlled environment for the swimming. Because if you haven't figured out, swimming is clearly my weakest discipline. And then so the order of how my disciplines have been historically, I wouldn't say it's that today. It was running was my strongest discipline, then cycling was right behind it, and then swim was way in the bottom. Now to my surprise this year for this triathlon, because by the way, I have not been doing a good job of training for anything since June. June is kind of where I petered out for my training. I was training pretty well and came to most of the events I've been doing in recent, for this year. Even with my injury that I had back in January, I still was doing things to make things work. But outside of that, my training has been kind of not great. Clearly, I'm still active because I wouldn't have the yoga videos on YouTube and all that if it wasn't for me being active. And also, I'm still running. You guys hear about it all the time when I talk about it. And I've been going to the gym here and there, but even that hasn't been that great in the consistency level of things, which we're going to fix that. We're actually going to go to the gym this evening after work. I'm going to ride my bike to the gym, and then I'm going to ride my bike back. So that is one of the things we're going to do. But anyway, so I forgot where I was even going with that. Oh yeah. So this time when I did the triathlon, it was weird. My cycling, even though I really haven't been cycling that much this year, I cycled a lot last year. I think I still had residuals left from cycling as much as I did last year, because last year your girl was biking everywhere. It was insane. But my cycling portion was way better this time around than like my running portion. But like so good that like I PR'd. I was flying on the bike. I was flying, like, and had no fears of crashing or nothing. Like there was parts of the race, because you know it's on the road and stuff, where you're cycling through. You know how you have like the speed limits. I don't know if it's like this throughout the rest of the country or like the world, where sometimes you have like a speed limit thing, but then it has like the digital thing that shows you how fast you're going as you're going by the speed limit sign. Well, I saw how fast I was going. I was going like 18 miles per hour on that bike. I was like, I was flying. But my swim was garbage. The swim was garbage. It was horrible. Just throw it in the trash. But I've only swam one time this year. So I was just like, I wasn't expecting greatness, just put it that way. But okay, I'm going too much into I'm getting ahead of myself. So the distance for this sprint triathlon though, the swim was 300 yards. The bike was 10 miles. Easy. And then the running was a 5K. And for sprints, for your triathlons, the biking distance a lot of times varies, and then the swimming distance sometimes varies, even when it's a sprint. Once you get to Olympic and beyond, those numbers are the numbers for the most part. So this bike part sometimes can vary between 10 to 14 miles, but the run is always a 5K. For the Olympic, it's always a 10K. For half Ironman, half marathon, Ironman marathon. Okay, so the running distance is always a running distance. There's like no variation with the running distance usually. I think for super sprint, I think it's like 2.5K, which isn't anything. Which they're still super fun because I've done one of them and I want to do another one again. Now that I know that there's another one near, like, in my backyard, literally, I'm gonna do it. Not this year though, but I'm definitely gonna do it probably next year. But anyway, so I mentioned I haven't been training, right? So for the swim portion, it's in a pool. And this was actually located in the suburb of Glenview. So it's like a northern suburb of the city. A lot of the triathlons I found that have like pools or like quarries or something like that are in the burbs, which are great because they're great for people who are not strong at swimming. I'm not a strong swimmer. I also, I finally have gotten past this point, but I know when I first started doing triathlons, I would freak out as soon as I got in the water. Like literally, I would have a panic, full on panic. I had to talk myself out of the fact to realize like, girl, you're not gonna drown. Like, just if you really have to, you can just stand up in this water, you'll be fine. It's one of those. Like that used to be a thing when I first started doing triathlons, but now it's gotten better. It's still not great for like things that are not pools. So that's the part I want to try to get more in triathlons that are not pools, that are a little bit more towards the open water side of things. Because my fear, I'm not sure those who are not swimmers is I have a tough time when I don't see the bottom of things. Or if I'm like swimming and I can't see in the water, that freaks me out. And guess what? That's how all open water swims are. So I'm going to get past that somehow, some way. We will. But anyway, so this race started at 6:30 yesterday, so Sunday, and in the morning. And you lined up based upon what you think your projected time for the swim was. I knew I wasn't going to be that great, so I was more towards the back. I was like, let me get in the back. I'm getting in the back. And also too, because I knew I've only swam one time this year, I was like, this is not going to be a great swim. This is just going to be about getting through this swim. And yeah, it definitely was that. So the way they did the swim, which is different, not all swims are like this, and theirs is kind of odd, and maybe one day they'll change it up, but the way they do it right now is they have you start all the way at the end of the pool, because this is like at Parks and Rec Center that they have in there. But the Parks and Rec Center is like right there, and there's a way of getting in there through the inside, and there's like 2 ways of getting in from the outside. So it's like perfect for triathlons, basically. So you come in, you line up at the one ends of the pool, and then you zigzag all the way till you get to the end, and then there's a door to run out to the transition area. Because triathlons have transition areas. That's where you pretty much store all your stuff, including your bike and all that. So your bike is nice and secure and safe. Everything is all in this transition area. But also too, that's also time too. Like all this, once the event starts for you, it starts. And in triathlons, they put like a chip. You have like a little thing here. Your chip is here. Like it's kind of like, instead of like a wristband, it's like a right here, and you have a chip, and that's how they track you. So I got into the water to do this swim. I got passed like 3 times, which for me, I was like, oh, that's not that bad. That was gonna be way worse. But they had you zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. And I think that's why they have you zigzag, 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 because when you get to the end, the lifeguards will have this board to let you know, like, hey, let these people pass. So they did. So that you wouldn't. So it basically is perfect for if you're a beginner triathlete and you're afraid of getting kicked and stuff like that. Because with this race, that's not existent. You're not going to get kicked. None of that's a thing. Because in open water swim, it's kind of like a free for all. Sometimes you get kicked and punched by accident while you're like trying to like swim. It's a little chaotic. And if you're someone who already isn't that great of a swimmer and that's happening, that could probably be too much for you. So anyway, we basically, got through the swim. It was a lot. It was harder than I thought because I haven't been swimming. So my upper body has not been that great for that. And also too, I think I've mentioned before, I've been having upper back issues. And guess what? You're using a lot of your upper body. So it felt good as far as while I was swimming, but I wasn't gonna be able to race it, even if I wanted to, because I've been having upper body back issues. The racing was not gonna happen. So it actually did high-key felt good to be in the water. It just seemed like I was in the water forever though. Mainly because, I know this is a race and I'm not going fast, and I can tell I'm not, because I'm getting passed, but it was like, whatever, it is what it is. I kept relaxed. I didn't freak out in the water. And for me, if I don't freak out while I'm swimming, that is the victory for me. So I didn't freak out, and it was fine. So anyway, once I got out of the water, I was gone, because I can run though now. So I ran to the transition area. My transition for the bike, from the swim to bike, was pretty quick, because I had my shoes that I have for biking or cycling. I had those ready to go. Put those bad boys on. Had what I had on already. Put the helmet on. Took the bike down, and I was out. And the volunteers for the cycling part, they're like, "Oh wow, you ready?" I'm like, yeah, because I know, even though I am horrible at swimming, I'm not bad at cycling now. I can fly if I need to. And especially since this was only 10 miles, even though I haven't been training and haven't been cycling that much this year, I could do 10 miles. And I could do it like I'm running away. And also too, most of the cycling I've been doing in the city is my commuter bike. And that's a much heavier bike. I have a bike for triathlons. And that bike ain't heavy, it's light. So I know so I was flying. I was gone with the wind. It was amazing. And I saw my time, because the results were already up. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was gone. And I didn't realize how fast I was going. It just felt good. All I knew was I was just passing a lot of people. That's all I knew. I was passing a lot of people, but like consistently passing a lot of people and giving directions at the same time. Because there was one person who kept trying to pass me at the very beginning. But she couldn't stick with it because she was directionally challenged a little bit. Because she couldn't see the markings and stuff on the course. I'm just like, this is one of the most well-marked courses I've seen. I didn't want to tell her that, but I was thinking like, girl, this is a very well-marked course. And also too, if you're paying attention, it's fine. Like, and there's volunteers everywhere. And so she was kind of like grabbing with her, like, I didn't see it. And I was just like, I know, and just kept zooming right past her. And after that was the last time I saw her. Because she just kept getting confused. I was like, I don't know what to tell you, lady. And because the thing that she was confused by multiple things. One, she thought there wasn't anything that lets you know to go straight, even though there were arrows there to tell you to go straight. She didn't see them. And then the other one was, and they said it multiple times during the announcements about the cycling part, they mentioned it more than once, that it's a 2-loop. You do the loop twice. So when we were at the end of the first loop, because the thing is, I knew this lady started around the same time I did because she got out of the water a little bit before I did, and I caught her on the bike. But then she caught me back, and I was like, girl, you ain't really catching me for real. I was just taking it easy because I knew it was the first loop, and the second loop, I was gone. Yeah, so when it came to that loop part, she was about to just go back into the transition area. I was like, do you know what 10 miles is? And I was just confused how she was confused. I didn't understand how she was confused. It was confusing me. And so, I'm not gonna lie, all that was going through my head as I was gone with the wind. So I was gone with the wind and out of there. And then when I got back to the transition area, the same volunteer was like, you got through that cycling part fast. And I was like, yeah, I'm running, you know, trying to like get my bike and stuff for running. I was like, cycling is like my stronger discipline. Because it is. And at this point, I kind of already had this feeling, but like, I know right now cycling is my strongest discipline right now. It's easily my strongest discipline. And when I saw the numbers of what I did, I was like, oh yeah, that's my strongest discipline right now. Yeah, it is. So then after that, then I went from there to like running. The run wasn't horrible. The run was actually not bad at all. I was pleasantly surprised. It was a little bit less than 10:30 pace and for a run. And for me, because I haven't been running, I haven't been as motivated, all that, blah, blah, blah. And also it was a little bit warmer outside. And I stopped a couple times to walk and stuff. I wasn't mad at that. And there's like a hill that you have to run up, and a hill you have to run down, and a hill you get to run up again. So I really wasn't mad about my running time. I was actually pleasantly surprised about that too. I was like, okay, well, that didn't suck. I would love to do this race when I'm actually more trained. Cause then fast forward, I got through the whole entire triathlon, was happy with it, loved my overall time. Cause my overall triathlon time wasn't horrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. It was like I was in the middle when it came to like my time. But this is where your girl is back. I saw my place in my age group. I was in 5th place of my age group. There was 12 of us. Out of 12, I was in 5th place. And then I got curious. I was like, what do those times look like if, you know, I got 2nd or 3rd? If my swimming was just a tad bit better. So if I basically did this triathlon last year or actually swam, I could have cut off my swim time by a good probably 2 minutes. If I was running the way I used to run, which wasn't that long ago. That was only like last year. I used to be able to run like a 8:30 5K still comfortably. If I was able to do this in an 8:30 pace versus my 10:30 pace, I would have been second or third place. And considering the fact I really wasn't trained for like the cycling part and I was still flying, yeah, your girl's back. She's back. She's back. She's back. She's back. Because I saw that. I was like, I know you lying. I could have placed. If I would have trained for this triathlon, I would have placed. I know you lying. I know you lying. That's what I saw. And I was like, now, child, that means I have to do this race next year now. And I gotta get me a placement. Now I don't know if I don't know if it's just first place for age group or like top, like, you know, first, second, third. For smaller races, sometimes it is just first place age group. For me, I high key don't care. I just want to be second or third. I don't care if it really is placed or not. But seeing what the times were and seeing what it was and seeing that I could have easily placed, yeah. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do this race again next year, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So that's what I meant by I needed this race, because when I saw what I did, I was like, I know you lying. I know you lying. Because the thing is, my overall triathlon time and then the people who are like in second and third, there's only 7-minute difference. Right. See, this is where we're at with it, because okay, I just wanted y'all to know that, and this is why I gave the reaction I gave, because I'm just like, so you mean to tell me all I have to really do is just improve the 5K, to be honest, which is normally my stronger discipline anyway, right? So, you know, I said I was almost like a 10:30 5K. So my 5K was like, I think it took me like 33 minutes, right? 8:30 5K. I'm about to do some rough math. That's about 25-ish minutes. 25, 26 minutes, roughly. I can do 25, 26 minute 5K. Math. See, already knocked out. And then I know for the cycling part, there's parts of it that I slowed down. And it was mainly because I waited for, I didn't have the energy yet. I can improve the cycling easily. I already know I can knock out another 3 minutes off the cycling if I wanted to. And then also too, I forgot to mention my transition from the biking to running part was not that great. I can improve that, but I know how to improve that. Previous triathlons I've done, I usually don't switch shoes twice. I switched them twice this time. I need to find good triathlon shoes again. And they're shoes that only run in for triathlons because they're great for like the cycling part and the running part. And right now I only have shoes that are good for running, but not good for cycling, and vice versa. Because my bike that I use, I don't do the clips, but it has like the inserts where you insert your foot in and you push and pull. So like, I'm getting the right aerodynamics that I need for when I'm cycling, which is also why I was going with the wind out of there. But I'm also need to have the proper shoe for that to be a thing, because my cycling shoes that I use are more narrow than my running shoes. Makes sense? Okay. So, but I can't run in those shoes I use for cycling because they're more like cross trainer shoes. They're better for like the gym. I probably the most can do run a 5K, but on a treadmill. I can't run in those shoes and my feet be okay. Especially now with the injury that I've had with my foot, I won't even play those games right now. I need a good shoe. There's no playing with that. So that's the other reason why I'm like, okay, that can easily be improved. That's like a non-issue. That can totally be improved. No problem. And then the other thing that I thought of was like, okay, what can we do to make it better is the swim. And I've been debating this for a minute now. And I'm thinking after next year, so probably 2025, I'll maybe finally break down and do some adult swim lessons. Because I promise you, if I can actually take swimming lessons, the swimming will get better. If I start doing some open water swims, a pool swim will be easy then, because the open water swim, you have to be stronger for that. So basically, if my body was a little bit more together, I was a little bit more motivated, I probably could have did more than what I did. But to my pleasant surprise, I performed the way I performed probably the last time I did that triathlon, minus the run part, because I think my biking part wasn't that great. My biking part used to be not good, and now my biking part's way better. So, and honestly, for a triathlon, the biking is the longest distance, so that's the one where you catch people the most in, and then running and then swimming. So that's why I'm like, you know, if I just get the swimming, if I can get the running and like the biking part so much better and make the swimming just a tad bit more bearable, we'll be fine. So, but anyway, that helped me get my motivation back and I felt very good about it. I was on a very nice high over it yesterday, to the point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap. That's another thing too, your girl got to take a nap this weekend. I just feel so refreshed, and that just did everything I needed to do. And yeah, so that was the review. And also too, I think I did share it at the very beginning, but this is what the ribbon looks like. Hold up. See? It's cute, right? Right. Anyway, that concludes the video. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel to get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Sitting throwing rocks across the